Coming up on UCF Nightly News, there are currently 81 brush fires burning in Florida. We have Courtney Jacobazzi live from Station 65 right by UCF, talking to a fire official about what's being done to keep campus safe from the flames.
Plus, we have the latest update on the UCF student accused of beating his dog to death.
And we'll show you how the community is coming together to honor the victims of the Pulse shooting.
In sports, the UCF football spring season is winding down. We'll tell you how the team makes plans to make improvements for the next season.
Nightly News starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Bridget Snedeker.
And I'm Talia Blake. Today is Friday, April 14th, 2017.
Florida is under a state of emergency due to brush fires, and these fires are affecting communities close to campus. Right now we have Courtney Jacobazzi live at Fire Station 62 to show us the precautions local fire officials are taking to keep UCF safe. Courtney?
Yes, hi guys. I'm actually here at Fire Station 65. It's Orange and Seminole County. So I'm actually right here over near Bright House Network Stadium, and like you guys said, we are under an extreme to very high to extreme rather fire danger risk here in Central Florida. Currently there are 78 active wildfires and over 1,400 new acres being burned currently in our state. So definitely something that we have to be concerned about. And I'm actually here with Lieutenant Drury, and I have a couple questions just to see how they're taking the proper steps to keep us safe here on campus. So what prevention methods are we taking here on campus?
Well, the main thing right now, Courtney, is between Orange County and Seminole County, we're staffing extra woods truck with extra firefighters, and we're keeping a vigilant watch on the brush fires that have just recently happened and doing everything we can to prevent any further brush fires. So having the extra manpower and the extra apparatus is the best way that we can try and prevent, from our perspective, from the future brush fires.
Okay, and for students, what kind of precautions can they take, and maybe not like having any bonfires? What kind of advice do you give students?
That's a great question, because for students, especially with the current conditions the way that they are, we need for them to make sure that they don't have any dry plants or shrubbery up against wherever they're living. You know, some of the students live off campus in houses, and that's the main concern, is to make sure that there's a 30-foot to 35-foot perimeter away from the structure where they have any kind of vegetation. So this way, if there was a brush fire, there's a little buffer zone so that they can protect themselves.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. And guys, like I said, we are under an extreme fire danger here in Florida, and that's just because we've been in such a drought. We are currently under about 7 inches of normal rainfall than we're supposed to be at this time of year. And Sam, you'll have more with your weather later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Courtney. Governor Rick Scott declared Florida under a state of emergency because fires keep popping up all over our state. Like Courtney mentioned, the dry conditions are not helping keep the flames contained at all. Fire Station 43, less than 10 miles from UCF, got a call about a fire on Saturday afternoon. Over 165 acres were burned. It got close, but no homes were lost, and no deaths or injuries were reported. The fire was officially out at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, but the area is still monitored closely. And the Florida Forest Service announced Seminole County under a total burn ban. The ban will be in effect until we see a significant amount of rain.
The UCF student accused of beating his puppy to death was in court Thursday. However, his trial has been pushed back. Court documents obtained by Nightly News say Stribling hit his now dog's dead 17-week-old puppy multiple times after the dog peed in the house. At a hearing Thursday afternoon, Stribling's attorney Hugo Bubine submitted a motion to suppress that was denied by the judge. When Nightly News talked to Stribling a few months ago, he said the court wasn't necessarily wrong in accusing him.
I don't think that the court is wrong. You know, like I definitely made a mistake for which I feel incredibly remorseful for.
The Orange County Animal Services made an appearance as a witness in court to talk about the dog's body. The defense argues that the animal autopsy isn't enough evidence to determine Stribling guilty. The judge scheduled the trial for May 1st.
The city of Orlando is protecting its firefighters in a new way. They're adding an extra level of security to its fire crews. The city of Orlando fire departments are the first to jump on board with ballistic vests. These vests are used to ensure firefighters are equipped with the latest safety technology. District Chief Chris Sperlin says this will make their crews much safer.
The vests are going to provide added protection to our personnel that are out in the field for active scenes of violence or active shooter incidents or even mass casualty. We want to provide the highest level of protection to our crews so they're able to perform and assist anybody in need.
Not only do these vests protect from firefighters from the gunfire, they also act as tool belts holding life-saving medical equipment. The city spent about $88,000 to buy 150 vests. The city of Orlando also bought enough so that every firefighter would be able to use one while on shift.
With the one-year anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting approaching, victims and families unite to tell their stories. Nightly News reporter Desiree Mantilla takes a peek into how the community is keeping Orlando strong.
And when I got shot in the stomach, she actually held pressure to my wounds.
Chris Littlestar will always remember the morning of June 12th.
I was outside on the patio with him, and I went inside by myself, and that's when the shooting started. It was about 3 or 4 shots, and then it stopped for a minute, and then like another 4, 5, 6, 7, and it just kept going and going.
Littlestar will tell his story for a new film based on Pulse. Director of the film Charlie Min says he wants to give voices to the victims of Pulse.
I'm here to give the victims a voice. My films represent innocent people who have been murdered. They need a voice, and if it's me supplying it, then so be it.
This documentary is one of the ways the Orlando community continues to heal after the Pulse nightclub shooting.
Base here it says one heart and one pulse, really.
Lauren Schofer's design tells this story of healing through open eyes and open hearts, inspired by her own experience with Pulse.
I was downtown about a mile from Pulse, like at the time that it happened. I was at a different club at the time.
Schofer says she wants her design to show a community uniting.
We were all coming together to support everybody who's been affected by this, and I really felt like we were really united from this.
Littlestar wants his story to inspire others.
I just want to put my story out there. I want the story of Pulse to be out there so that people can see how much suffering and pain, and not only that, but how much stronger our community has come together.
Littlestar hopes his story will continue healing the Orlando community. Reporting in Orlando, Desiree Mantilla, UCF Nightly News.
Min starts filming for the Pulse documentary this week, and Schofer will be featuring her designs for Pulse in a Winter Park museum this summer.
The Pentagon unleashed a massive weapon, so massive that they had to drop it from the rear of a cargo plane. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer spoke on one of the largest military decisions in history. CBS News reports that the United States military dropped the largest non-nuclear bomb on Afghanistan. Military officials are calling it the mother of all bombs. President Donald Trump called it a, quote, very successful mission. Spicer says that precautions were taken beforehand.
The United States takes the fight against ISIS very seriously, and in order to defeat the group, we must deny them operational space, which we did. The United States took all precautions necessary to prevent civilian casualties and collateral damage as a result of the operation.
The bomb weighed a hefty 21,600 pounds, and it was also stuffed with 11 tons of explosives that were dropped. The extent of the damage and whether everyone was killed is still not clear, but the military is conducting an assessment.
President Donald Trump's travel ban may not be in effect, but 12 states, including Florida, are backing the ban in appeals court. Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, Montana, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, and West Virginia are also included in that ban with Florida. The court documents show the states are urging the court to overturn a lower court's ruling. This ruling previously blocked the ban from going into effect. The defendants say the executive order is not a pretext for religious discrimination in the court documents.
Right now, the streets of Venezuela are filled with violence and protesters. This hits home for one UCF student who left his family behind in fear. In this video obtained by Nightly News, you can see protesters throwing eggs at their president, Nicolás Maduro. The protesters are calling for Maduro's resignation. Local media in Caracas reports that even the poor are taking to the streets as the country faces a crippling economic crisis. UCF student Johnny Mujica left Venezuela 4 years ago, and he says that this situation is getting worse.
That they send out to the street. Right now, they don't have diapers. They have to search the trash for food. Kids don't have formula to eat. Babies are dying because they don't have medicines that they need just as they are born. So families are going through very critical stages right now.
Mujica hopes to return home one day, but not while tear gas, fires, and injuries have taken over the country. Protests are still happening, and reports say that the body count is slowly rising.
You know, this morning when I went outside, I still felt that dry, warm air.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like it can stay that way throughout the weekend. Samantha, how's our weather forecast looking for today?
It's actually a beautiful day outside today. Current conditions are warm and windy. Current temperature is at 79 degrees. We have a humidity of 45 degrees. Wind direction is 22 miles per hour. Very low 6% chance of rain. And I'll have what you can expect this weekend later in the show. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Coming up, allergy season is back. We'll tell you how the high pollen count in our area is affecting some students. Plus, Florida is diving into a crazy statistic. We'll take you poolside to show you how UCF is preventing increased drowning rates. Coming up after the break, Samantha McCollum has your weather for the week and how it may affect your weekend plans.
Plus, it's Financial Literacy Month. Find out how UCF officials are helping students keep their pennies in their pockets.
Coming up after the break, Orlando City looks to extend its strong home record. We'll tell you what Jason Christ said about the team's recent performance.
Plus, the Knights football team will be closing their spring season soon. Eric Scott has the story and the full sports report when we come back.